Hey! So this is a special video. Again, it's Friday, and a special video for the women over at A Girl's Guide to Gettin. And today I wanted to talk to you about you and food, or we and food, or us and food, or food. And what our relationship is to food, and how that has impacted if we find ourselves overweight. Now, I've had this conversation with other people, and sometimes I clearly see that it's uncomfortable for folks. So try this on. If it feels like it applies to you, then go with it. If it doesn't feel like it applies to you, you've just spent 3 minutes listening. That's it. So I wanted to talk about being an emotional eater and using food as a crutch to deal with our emotions. We know that food is obviously there to fuel our bodies and to run our bodies, and food can also be delightful if you get a good cook in your kitchen. But also, if you get a skewed perspective around food, it sometimes takes the place of, becomes a coping mechanism when you're having really tough times. So as a person who doesn't use drugs or really drink or have other vices, when I found myself in emotional pain, I often, if not 99% of the times, turn to food as a way to soothe myself, and as a habit that I picked up pretty early in life, probably when I was around 14. As I've gotten older, I found food as a surefire way to make me feel better, at least temporarily. When I started on this body project, and I knew that there were things I needed to change in my life if I was going to find a way to release this 150 pounds that I had accumulated over the years, I had to look at my relationship with food and how I was using food to feel better, and by default was using food to destroy my body. So one of the things I did was start reading, and starting to get to know myself and know my relationship with food and my relationship with people. And one of the books that really was helpful in the last year was Janine Roth, Why Wait? Ending Compulsive Eating. It's a guide to ending compulsive eating, and it's a workbook. It has about 86 exercises in here. It talks about what's eating you, how you use food, old hurts, how food is associated with certain memories, both painful and good. And sometimes when we're eating, we're trying to replicate a happy memory we have that we no longer have, we believe we can't access. Or sometimes when we eat, we're trying to bury feelings that hurt us or make us feel distressed, and we're trying to use food as a way to dampen. And so Janine Roth, and she has several books. I also have her book, Women, Food, and God, which is also an excellent read. This workbook is hard. It asks you to look at some really unattractive things about yourself, and things that you initially feel like don't match you or is not you. But I say, if you choose to use this workbook, to push through and attempt to finish the exercises. One of the things I learned about myself, obviously, that I was using food, was that I was using, I wasn't a person who ate over the course of a day. I like to eat food in bulk, because often I was using the food as a stopper to push down my feelings, and so I needed the weight of the food to do that. So eating over the course of a day didn't do that for me. And so I wanted to show you sort of how how my eating started and how it is now, through this little demonstration with plates. So this is the plate that at my worst, when I was at the tippy top of my highest weight, that I ate my meals off of. This is not a dinner plate. I don't know if you can tell that through the video. This is not a dinner plate. This is a pasta plate. You boil a big pot of pasta, you throw it on here, and see whatever else you're going to put on top of the pasta, and then multiple people would serve themselves from this plate. But I was using it as a way, that was actually how I ate my meals. One of my favorite things to put on here was a pot of white rice, a pound of ground meat that I would season, and jalapeno peppers and onions or whatever else I was putting on there. Put the white rice on top, put the steaming ground meat on top, and then eat the entire plate. Usually I wash it down with some kind of soda, and then had a slab of pound cake and vanilla ice creams, double serving. And that's when I was feeling the most in pain, when my life felt the most out of control. That's the meal I had. Now, I just want to see, in this, again, this is a pasta plate. Okay, this is a regular dinner plate, right? So you can see how much bigger this pasta plate is. Now, when I was starting to deal with my food and deal with how I was going to manage my food, one of the exercises I chose to do was to reduce the size of the plate. I know you guys have heard this before, but reduce the size of the plate you're eating off of. And so basically I put away all my other dishes, and basically this is the plate that I eat off of. This is actually a salad plate. And so in relation to this dinner plate, I eat off of the salad plate. So what I do is I cook my meal. I put the meal on this, everything. So the entree, the veggie, whatever else, you know, starch, whatever is going on this plate goes on this plate. And then I eat the food. And then I wait 20 minutes to see if I still feel hungry. If I feel hungry, fine. I give myself permission to put another serving on this plate. And I eat it, you know, maybe all of it, some of it, depending what I need. And so this plate really becomes one serving of this. So if I get second helpings on this, I'm really only eating this plate. This regular dinner plate of food. And so that's one of the ways that I started to get a handle on how much food I was eating and how I was using food and how I was being mindful about eating food. So I went from this pasta plate to this salad plate, and that's one of the ways that I have been able to better manage and be in connection with the food I'm eating and see food as fuel, and also if I'm, you know, as I learn to cook for myself, that it can be great in certain portions. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this, if it applies to you, it makes you start thinking, and maybe you can use this particular ritual as a use to you as you start dealing with your food and your exercise and trying to lose weight and all this stuff, and just sort of getting a handle on your life. So that's it. Thanks for listening and watching, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.